Hello everybody, Mazigir to you, and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. In today's video, we'll begin our explorations on the LANAYRU Tower as we make our way towards the Akkala Research Tech Lab. And before we do that, I just gotta say, this view is so pretty. It's raining right now, so it's not quite as clear as I'd like it to be, but this is honestly one of the best viewpoints we've seen from a tower in this game so far, which is saying a lot because this is a very gorgeous game. There are plenty of objectives that we could go towards right now. We could see plenty of shrines and towers off in the distance. But as for right now, like I said earlier, we'll be going for the Akkala Research Tech Lab in this video. This shrine right here, I was very heavily considering going for this one right now, but I decided against it because that one's used as a point of reference for teleporting towards Zora's domain. So I think it'll make a lot more sense to wait until we're actually in Zora's domain before we go take care of that shrine. If that makes any sense, it probably doesn't. So we're over here, and there are some Stalfos, Alphos enemies right there. I don't remember their names off the top of my head. We haven't seen those quite yet, but we definitely will run into more of them. Probably in this video, but we definitely will run into more of them in the future. This is a heavily forested area, as you can clearly see, so if you're taking care of a side quest, like the... oh my god. The way the light is going through the moon over there, it's so pretty. This is such a pretty game, I can't even finish my train of thought. But yeah, if you're taking care of a side quest like Hylian Homeowner or something like that, where you need to get lots of bundles of wood, this is a great place for that. So definitely keep that in mind. We go over here and we will be introduced to a new enemy. This is a Wizrobe. More specifically, this is an Ice Wizrobe. So we want to be careful with this enemy because they will be able to teleport around the area like this, and they jump around and things like that. Wizrobes in this game have elemental attacks, such as this one having ice attacks. So if you see something like that, well, first of all, this enemy will also spawn elemental enemies as well, such as this one spawning an ice case. They also have elemental weaknesses as well, such as the Ice Wizrobes being vulnerable to fire arrows. Defeating them will drop the rod that they were using against us. So that's pretty nice. We now have an ice rod, which is definitely going to be useful for when we need to freeze things a little bit later in the game. I have a slight problem with the rod-style weapons, which we will be getting into when the time comes to actually see them. It's not really all that important right now, though, so I don't really feel the need to really describe it in detail. What I do feel like talking about, though, is this guy, and I like how when he's shocked, he has like the creepy glitchy eyes that Goron Link has in Majora's Mask 3D. Hey there, I'm Balden, Goron City's ambassador of tourism. These days, Hyrule Castle is just a creepy old ruin. The treasure hunters who sneak in there must be crazy. Oh my goodness, you looked creepy when you were shocked and there was lightning. I mean, the Gorons usually look adorable when they're smiling, but that one kind of looked a little creepy when there was thunder and lightning everywhere, and it wasn't very that pleasant. Great grammar. What's the word? It's on the tip of my tongue, but I just can't think of it. It starts with L and ends with ick. What is it, though? Ah, yes. The Hylian champion, or so I've heard somewhere. That's you, right? You're Link. Lay down your life. We've seen a Yiga Clan member before, but I want to fight this one because we're in the middle of a thunderstorm right now, and if I can pull this thing off, I really want to demonstrate it. Yeah! As we've heard plenty of times before in the past, is this really the first time we've come across a green rupee? Well, okay then. So, what was I saying? We've heard plenty of times in the past how can you come back here, Raisin? Raisin, come on, it's just a little thunder and lightning, how bad can it be? But yeah, as we've heard plenty of times in our adventure, thunder is usually attracted to metallic objects, and all the Yiga Clan members fight with metallic weapons. So that's something that's definitely worth mentioning if you come across enemies like that. You can have the Yuga clan members instantly get wiped out from the lightning and things like that. It's kind of funny how I wrote a book about people who control lightning, and lightning was my ally during that fight. I pressed the jump button! I did not throw myself at enemies, they were being mean. Let's try that again, hopefully this time without fail. So this is probably the best opportunity to demonstrate the ice rod. So what's cool about this enemy, not this enemy, this weapon, is it has the ability to freeze things. That lady was taking the Pokemon as a souvenir. I'm saving a replay of that. I know I'm uploading this onto YouTube, so there's really no point, but I need a video of that forever. So, yeah, that's the whole big idea with the ice rods, is that they'll be able to freeze enemies. The thing I don't like about them, though, is the fact that you can't throw them. So, they're a little bit hard to get rid of if your inventory is full and you're trying to get rid of a weapon to clear up your inventory space. Oh, gee, that guy was helpful. But yeah, it's a little obnoxious to deal with. It's not that big of a problem because the rods do break easily. So it's not like they're going to be clearing up your inventory too much. It's just something that's a little annoying. I think I've seen you before. I'm not dead, thank you so much! Hasty mushroom omelet. Let's get back to the hunt for hardy truffles. Yeah, we definitely seen you before. You're the lady who likes hardy truffles a little too much. And who am I to judge? I love eggnog. Where's my horse? There you are. I couldn't find my pony for a moment. Let's go over here and hey, there's another person right there. Hey, I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you. I'm Karsh the Gerudo. Remember that name. If you go north of here to Goron City, there's a place called Goron Hot Springs that's supposed to be good for your skin. And you need to take good care of your skin too after the monsters of the way tear to ribbons. So we've seen a Goron and now we've seen a Gerudo. That's pretty fun. Up until this point we've only really seen Hylians, so it's great that we're coming across more people in this world. Now the reason why I want to come over here, we're going a little bit off the beaten path admittedly, but the reason why I want to come over here is because there's another stable right here. And there's a shrine over here that I want to activate so that by the time we actually do take care of the Elden region, it'll be easier to get over here. Now, that might not make a whole lot of sense considering the fact that we literally ignored a shrine that's close to Zora's domain, but that one's also located next to a tower, so it makes a bit more sense to ignore that one, but take care of this one for convenience sake. Skip! Metal Mixer Path, Keet Shrine. I really hope I pronounced that correctly. So this one is a pretty interesting one. We've seen this gameplay mechanic before where there's boulders, they're going to be rolling down the area. So it's a pretty fun gameplay mechanic. You definitely want to be careful though because you don't want to be like directly in front of a boulder when it's rolling down. Just be careful about this, and also be careful and make sure that's not moving before it runs off, before it rolls away, I should say, because there are times where I think that it stops moving, but then I notice that it stops running off screen, and the next boulder lands on my face. Not a very pleasant experience at all. That was our first treasure chest, and there just so happens to be a second one in this dungeon, so let's go take care of that. This isn't a dungeon, this is a shrine, as you get my terminology correct. Terminology. Termina. Majora's Mask. Zelda jokes. I'm funny. Is that gonna roll? Please, that's not gonna roll. Okay, it stopped. I got nervous about that for a moment, but it didn't move, so that's pretty good. Over here, there's a breakable ceiling, so we can use this to blow it up. If we had bomb arrows, we can also use that, but I feel like using the boulder, because the boulder is conflicted about the use of explosive bombs. And we get a Ribby! Yay! I was trying to think of another Ruby song that I could sing, and the first one that came to mind was I Burn, but I honestly don't remember the lyrics of that one off the top of my head. That's one of those songs where I more so remember like the beat of it, more so than like the actual tune or the lyrics or anything like that. So I could probably hum I Burn, but I can't sing it. Alright, so going over here, there is something that I really like to do. It's really stupid, and I don't advise you do it. What I like doing is that. I like having the boulder really high up, and then letting go of it, and then pressing the button at the last second, because all the boulders disappear during the cutscene. Leaving the shrine, the day is clear, the sun is shining, the tank is clean, and we are getting out of- the tank is clean! The tank is clean! As I mentioned in the previous episode on the playlist, or at least was the video that I'm thinking of. So, as I mentioned before, the stables usually have at least one side quest within the general vicinity of these areas. I believe that one is no exception, so if you're looking for side quests, there's probably one over there. We will take care of whatever side quests may be in that area later in the Let's Play. We won't be going to the Elden region right now because we're supposed to be on our path to the Akkala region, and we keep getting sidetracked. That's just Breath of the Wild for you. You have an objective in mind, and it takes you forever to get there because you get distracted by literally everything else. That was one concern that I had about this Let's Play, and when I was preparing for this series, I kept telling myself, don't get distracted. If you have an objective, stick to it. But honestly, that's not true to the spirit of Breath of the Wild, so that's the reason why I haven't really been too worried about sticking to my own objectives or anything like that, because that is very much how you play Breath of the Wild. One thing that I really love about this right here is that even in bright daylight, you can usually only see like the silhouette of this mountain over here. That's Death Mountain over there, so you can really only see the silhouette of the volcano with the lava being the only thing illuminating it because it's so hot that we can even see the lava from here. That's one thing that I really love about this, and this is honestly my favorite version of this volcano in the Zelda series. And we can also see what looks like something climbing on it. That's very peculiar indeed. Maybe we'll find something out about that a little bit later. But as for right now, though, we have a new objective to find. Or rather, to go to, because we kind of already found it. That's the proper grammar for that sentence. Alright, take care of you. That moblin was a joke. Alright. We got all of the equipment, and now we can go and talk to this person. It took all I had to just stay alive against that monster, but you beat it like it was a straw training dummy. Whoever you are, you deserve this more than I do. And we get a tough vegetable risotto. That's not what I got on my practice playthrough. I thought this guy was supposed to give you a fire elixir. Fire elixirs are supposed to be really useful, but whatever. I came out this way to search for this Citadel. Can't believe I made it so close, I'll have to turn back now. Citadel is one of those words where I never know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. That's the Akkala Citadel ruins. Long ago, at the peak of Hyrule's power, they built a fortress to protect Akkala. It was said to be unassailable, but during the Great Calamity, Hyrule Castle fell. The army had no royalty to lead them. With no other choice, they fell back to the Citadel to make their last stand. Sadly, a concentrated assault from the out-of-control Guardians spelled the end of the fortress too. In a real sense, the Kingdom of Hyrule met its doom here. I found out my own kin died in that battle, so I came to at least pray at the spot where they fell. But it turns out that the old Guardians are still active, so this is as far as I go. I've never heard of anyone else escaping a Guardian's sights, at least. You don't look reckless enough to chance it, but be on your guard in these hills, it's all the same. On the practice playthrough, this guy also mentioned something along the lines of, I tip my hat off to you. And I was kind of teasing him, saying that he's not wearing a hat. But, before I do anything else, I want to change my armor. Because you may notice that this area is kind of super vertical. So we're going to be doing a lot of climbing. So without further ado, that was kind of a weird jump. Without further ado, let's go over here and seize our destiny. It started raining in the middle of me climbing. That's just rude. Well, whatever. Well, how is the rain even affecting this spot right here? Come on, game. I've been sitting here for a while trying to find anywhere that I can start a fire so that I can set up a campsite and make it go to the next day so it would hopefully stop raining. I don't think that's gonna happen, so we'll just continue onwards and hope for the best. So we'll be going over here, and honestly, this tower is easily one of my favorites to climb in the entire game. So, alright, well, we want to avoid you. Take care of that. Come on! Be destroyed already. Be destroyed, be destroyed, be destroyed. I'm gonna steal your stick and use it against you, except we can't because our inventory is full. But what I was trying to say a moment ago was that this is easily one of my favorite towers to climb in Breath of the Wild. It's just so much fun because you have so many enemies around here, and you have those Guardian Scout things. Those aren't Guardian Scouts. What are those ones again called again? Guardian Skywalker. Skywatcher. Alright, so a fun story. When I was practicing, when I was planning out this Let's Play, I kept misspelling that as Guardian Skywalker. Because I love Star Wars and all, so... And I guess that's also going to be a verbal thing as well, where I'm going to call them a Skywalker instead of a Guardian Skywatcher, because that's what they're officially called. Alright, let's take care of you. You are not a nice person, so let's move you off the side of the mountain. There we go. Alright then. If you're good at this game, you could probably have this metallic box to shield you from the Skywatchers. I am not though, so I'm not even gonna bother trying. I will die because I'm bad at this game. It spawns me right next to this guy! You want to be careful around this one because this Skywatcher is kind of a jerk. So what I recommend instead is climbing around here, and if it wasn't raining, then this would be a lot easier. But it is raining, and I couldn't get it to stop, so we're just gonna have to make with what we do with what we have. Okay, we got to care of that. It's really bothering me that it's raining right now because I wanted to use this area as an example of just how good the climbing gear is, because we can climb so fast in this area. But unfortunately, that's not the way that's gonna work out because, well, it's raining and I can't get it to stop because it's rude. We'll continue on over here. Hopefully the Guardian Skywatchers are gone. I just had to open my mouth! I just had to open my mouth! As soon as I say it, one of them spots me. Of course. They'd spot me right when I say it. That's how it always works. Okay, get ready for you. Alright. I'm very nervous about approaching these things. What do I even want to do here? Okay, I think you're just gonna stay up there forever, so let's just run for it and hope for the best. Actually, you're just looking at that one area right there, so maybe we can climb around this. Why does it have to be raining right now? Okay, one of my favorite pictures that I've seen of this game, there's like a fan picture or something like that. One of my favorite fan pictures for Breath of the Wild is this one where it's kind of like a parody logo, where it's all like the legend of rain at inconvenient times. That accurately sums up what we're doing in this area. Okay, we can take care of you. I know you were just minding your own business, but you're kind of not very nice, so... take care of that. There's a rusty shield right there. The thing about the rusty weapons and things like that, they may not seem that great because they will break easily, but there is something that we will hopefully be seeing in the near future that will justify their existence. It is a thunderstorm right now. Please tell me that didn't strike lightning near us. It kind of did, but it didn't exactly hit us, so we're kind of safe, kind of, except not really. Flurry rush in the rain. It looks so cool. Oh, that looked so cool. Man, the flurry rush in general is just a really cool mechanic in this game that I absolutely love. It's even more cool when you do it in the rain because it's just so unnecessarily epic. And that's my calling in life. Ooh, Silver Ruby, we'll definitely need that for stuff we'll be taking care of later. So that giant eyeball that we saw, well, first of all, this is our first instance of seeing Malice in this world. So this purple sludge is called Malice. If you touch it, it will drain your health very quickly, so you want to avoid that as much as possible. The eyeballs that we saw right there, when you defeat them, they will cause a pretty big chunk of the Malice to disappear. So that's something that's very well worth mentioning. If you see an eyeball, then alright, let's try that again. What I was trying to say was, if you see an eyeball near the Malice, then yeah, definitely get rid of it if you can. Alright. Where do I want to go next? I definitely want to take care of you because I want vendetta against my past life. I'm going to risk having a spear because I want to knock you off the platform as quickly as possible. I don't know if they take damage from Malice or anything like that. I don't think they do. Because they are enemies and they are spawns of Ganon, so it wouldn't make sense for them to take damage from that. I definitely want to climb this area. It's going to be really difficult to do in the rain. Okay, why does it have to rain right now? Like, seriously. This is like one of the most inconvenient times for it to possibly rain in this game. We're not only climbing one of the most difficult towers in the entire game, but it's also raining, which is going to make it even more difficult. But we're now on the tower. We're on the tower now, so it should be okay. Also, I just realized that it's cold, so we might want to wear this thing so that we don't, like, freeze and stuff. It's going to be climbing a little bit slower, but it doesn't even matter that much anyway because it's raining. This snow is very pretty. You don't often see snow and thunder mixed together in games or in real life, so this is a very beautiful and unique view. We finally made it to the top. Let's activate the tower. Before we go any further, I would like to pay special attention to the map right now. This is how much we've unlocked so far in our adventure, and the Hero's Path mode is something that we've demonstrated during the end screen for this Let's Play. This is how much we've actually seen so far, including stuff that I did off camera during practice recordings, like this area right here. Needless to say, it took a little while to try to find a good route to the Akkala Research Lab, but this is how much we've seen so far. And we still have quite a ways to go before we've done everything in this game. So before we move onwards, there is one more thing that I'd like to demonstrate about this place before we move on. So first of all, if we go over here, we could see a really cool detail of these cannons off to the side of the fortress, because this was Hyrule's last line of defense, so it makes sense there were cannons everywhere. But over here is something that's very special to me about my first playthrough of this game. So, we go over here. Before we do anything else, I need to eat something. So, let's eat some apples. And we go over here. And this was the first Guardian that I ever defeated on my first playthrough of Breath of the Wild. So, first of all, I'm going to take care of this so we can have some space for inventory. I want to be very careful with this guy because... yeah, he has a lot of attacks and he's not very nice, so I definitely want to be careful fighting this thing. But this was the first Guardian that I ever defeated on my first playthrough of this game, and I remember this specifically because the route that I took to get to the tower, I remember it was a bright and sunny day. It wasn't raining like it is now, but I climbed this wall in particular to get over here because I had a lot of stamina this early on in the game. So, let's be careful. Alright, we did it. So, yeah, that was the first Guardian that I ever defeated, and I remember feeling so proud of myself for defeating that thing, because it was still fairly early on in my playthrough, even though I had a lot of stamina. I just felt so good defeating the Guardian the first time. Like, everybody remembers the first time that they defeated Guardian in this game, and that was the first one that I ever destroyed, and it just felt so good doing so. Now, obviously, it's not much to brag about now because it's only a decayed Guardian. Which road do I want to take to get to where I want to go? Okay, I want to backtrack over here and go around that way. So it's not much to brag about now because it is a decayed Guardian, but it's still something that's kind of a big treasured memory of my first playthrough of this game. Because, like I said, everybody remembers the first Guardian that they destroyed. So now we're taking care of all that, we're going to this video off here. So thank you all so much for watching this episode of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Your options on where to go next. The next episode in the playlist, we will finish our trek to the Akkala Research Tech Lab. Or, you can also take your time getting there and begin the From the Ground Up side quest. You can search for Korok seeds in the region if you'd like to do that, or you can ignore all of that and go straight for Ganon, who's over there somewhere. So thank you all so much for watching this episode of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I've been Lady Gear to you, and where would you like to go to next? By the way, I like how it stopped raining pretty much immediately as we activated the tower.